why I decided to do that. I had changed it. I had changed it. I promise you I have. But, you know, those things happen. So I'm back again. Did that real quick. So glad that you came with me, everybody. And we're here today. We're going to finish off, I hope, do the finishing touches on this picture and maybe get started on some other ones. So come on in. Finishing touches on this picture. And I'll just turn off that speaker. And here we go. So we've been working on this for the last couple of weeks. We did a watercolor background, added some pencil, talked about the color of the background that I was going to do, and we talked about doing green, which you can see I have put in there. And I decided that the appropriate color for the curtains would be the blue, which kind of echoes the blue and green that she's got in her bows. So I did a little bit of work on that background that was based in the same green that I used here. And then I've added pencil work to kind of give it a little bit of an ombre around her. What else have I done since we last saw each other? I think I put in the butterflies. I had put in the watercolor on the butterflies, but I've added some pencil to them. And I've continued with the pencil work on the lace, just to kind of accentuate the shadows that I had put in with some watercolor, and also to kind of pick out the holes in the lace. Now, I've also added on the pearls some of the opalescent Kuretake Gansai Tambi, so I think you might be able to see that there. So she's got pink and purple pearls, similar to what she had in the other picture, and I've added a little bit of the Gansai Tambi onto these crystals that I think these are hanging down here. But I might need to reinforce that perhaps with some gel pen or something like that. What was I going to say? Oh yes, I've been thinking about how I'm going to approach the rest of this lace, and I had been thinking about, you know, using a white acrylic pen, picking out quite a bit of it in white. I think I'm going to highlight her heart in white because some of it's kind of slowly turning pink. But I might just leave the lace the way it is. Now let's see, who's over there? Hey, Devin. Hello, Ambient. Oh, that's okay, Yolanda. I don't mind. I understand. You know, I don't think I can compete with the World Cup. But there you are. And yes, hi, Atlanta. I missed you. Thank you for coming by and stopping in. So that's where I am with this one. But I've got the curtains to finish, and maybe a few more highlights with my white acrylic pen, and I want to pick out these crystals down at the bottom of her dress. They're not showing up very well, so I might have to use a gel pen with that. I've got a couple of different nice sparkly gel pens. This the Pentel Sparkle Pops. They have been my favorites for some time, so I'm just going to put them there. And of course, the Signo Uni-ball Gold is what I had used on the cage and all of the other little gold bits that I've put there. This is quite a nice gold pen, especially if you have really small areas such as that to put it in. I use my gold paint in something that's as big as this, but I don't think I would do it as precisely on that. So let's see if we can do a little more work on the curtains. So I'm going to turn this baby upside down because it's going to be a lot easier for me to have to work on it this way. So I'm just going to put my pencils on top of that part. Move move those over there because it doesn't want to sit up a little higher. There we go. I got a jar of water up here too because I was doing a little bit of watercolor. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a haul video. Ambient, I know I have to do your confessions tag. I'm just looking for a bulldog binder clip here. I've got the fan on in my room and you can see the page is kind of blowing a little bit. So I'm just gonna clip it up at the top here so it'll stop blowing around. There we go. I can handle that. And, oh, but where was I? I was talking about doing a haul video because I've got a few things to show you, but in the meantime, I have to show you this. I broke down, I got the Afmat pencil sharpener. This is wonderful. I love this. I have always had a problem because my hands, I have arthritis in my hands and my feet. And it's getting harder and harder to actually turn the pencil, especially something that small, and to really get in there. That this is becoming a lifesaver for me. So, yes. I wouldn't usually do haul videos either, Atlanta, but I was gifted with a number of things, and well, what can I say? I've got to show them off, and I did get a couple of things, but this is one thing that I got that is really coming in useful for me. And yeah, you can kind of see, like, I'm starting to get the little knobbies up here in my fingers, and I can still color, but you know, try and grip that pencil and turn like that's just a bit much. Anyways, I'll put my box there. These are all my box of somewhat shorter pencils, though there are some longer ones in there that have come out of my other box. And I'm just going to do these curtains right now. Y'all, thank you, Atlanta. I'm not usually one to order a lot of things, so when I do, if I do haul videos, they're usually very few and far between. I really don't want to support Jeff Bezos if I don't have to. Let me tell you that. But I do, if you're ever interested in thrifting videos, I do thrifting videos too, which is on my... Yeah, I had to get this. They call this one purple, but yeah, I had to get a nice bright color. I've got a black desk, and there's a lot of tools that are black. I lose things on my desk because they all are the same color. So this I won't lose. And what I like is it is portable. You can put batteries in it, but I've already charged it and it's been holding that charge for some time. Don't use it a lot, but it has a great point because I like very sharp pencils. Because you can get into the little corners a lot easier. So I'm just working on darkening some of the edges of the curtain here. So the curtain that kind of is echoing the color of the butterflies in her bows. I'm not sure about the tassels yet. I may make them gold, but I might do them more like in pencil crayon, not with gold pen. You know what I mean? Gold color more. Like a silk tassel. Oh yes, I agree, Ambit. Oh, and the other thing, speaking of Derwent, that reminds me, this actually fits the Inktense pencils, which is what really I like because I love my Inktense, but they are quite a bit bigger than just a regular pencil shape. I think I have, yeah, here, I've got one up here handy because I tested it. And you can see that the barrel's quite a bit wider than what you would think a standard barrel would look like. And just a regular pencil sharpener doesn't hold the ink tents, but look at the nice point I got on that. And it's nice to get your points good on ink tents because you don't want to put this anywhere on your paper that you don't want that color to be. I rotate my pencil by habit in that I will color for a little bit and then I will pick the pencil up and just automatically rotate it like this, and it's just such a habit that I've gotten into. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're always using a sharper point a sharper area of your pencil when you do that, but at a certain point you gotta sharpen it. Like I can get quite low on my pencils before I feel the need to sharpen them. Now this one's a little offset, but it's an old Crayola pencil. So you can see I keep all sorts of pencils. So I'll get back to this. Put my ink tents there because I keep them separate from, I keep them in a different box. I keep them in a box with my oil-based pencils and my Crayola Super Tips. I have in a separate box of the pencils. And I just keep them up on my shelf. That's why I was looking up there. Oh, that's a good idea, Atlanta. I don't have the Chroma Flow, so is that a waxy pencil? You know, this one's a Prisma. It's more of a waxy pencil, so it's more likely to be sharper when you rotate it. I just want to put a little bit of the color, this color, in these darker areas that Gugeli has indicated on his drawing. I won't blend them all in yet. No, this one's below, so it's going to be a little darker. So I'm just going to get in there. Yeah, I think a nice golden yellow would be nice on this embroidered edge. I think that's what I'm going to do. Because I've got some blue butterflies that stick around it too, and that'll help them show off, and it'll reflect somewhat of the golden yellow that's coming off in the bird and the dog. Well, hey there, view. How are you? Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Derwent's answer to Prismacolor. Okay. You know, Prismacolor, I have to admit, was the first really large set that I bought as an adult. I've had pencil crayons around the house forever. That's, you know, hence that's why I have a lot of these. But look, you know, I've got some old Berol Canadianas. That's the jungle green color. So yeah, I keep all my pencils. In fact, it was a couple of years ago, I think. I always kept all the kids' school supplies from year to year, and you dig through it. And yeah, there was this one year I just kind of went through the entire box because they were out of school and they didn't need it anymore because that was, you know, the place to go and replenish if you needed it. And yeah, I dug out all the colored pencils and all the paper, and there you go. That's where I started. But then, you know, you want some better pencils. Yeah, I have to say my main pencil is still Prisma, but I mix up all my pencils, so it depends on the color that I'm using too, and or the paper and the effect that I want. Now these are really soft, and right now I want to have a little bit of a softer look because this is a velvet curtain. So I don't want to burnish it and make it look shiny. I want to make it look soft. I'll get back to on this side. Your drape. You probably can barely see what I'm doing here. Let me see, can I move this up a little more? There, try that. Move my pencil sharpener up there, move my lemonade. Have a little sip as it goes by. There we go. So thanks for coming by, everybody. So glad that you're all here. I hope you're all having a great Sunday afternoon and that you're doing something relaxing. If you feel the need that you have to go do some cleaning, please go right ahead. I understand, but I am so happy that you decided to show up here for a while anyways, even if it's just for a little while. Always enjoy the company. Okay, ambient. What are you saying here? You use Dermot Chromaflow Brook Thinner. Ohu. Black Widow, I've got them. Clure. No, don't got them. I got Crayolas. No Polys. No Castle Art. Yeah, it's mix them all up. When you begin really expand your color pencil range. As an artist, you didn't really need all those pencils. Well, as an artist, you can kind of decide what it is that you're doing with what you have in front of you. And you probably, as an artist, when you were doing that, maybe purchased a little more directly as to what you needed for the art that you were making. I think people in general, most people don't look at this type of work as actually art, or even using this type of tool as actually art, because they don't think that you can do much more with coloring pencils than this or something that their kids do. When you see an actual work that's been done in colored pencils by someone that's been doing it for years, like Dee Dee is wonderful. Her art is wonderful, but I've seen some highly detailed pictures that you wouldn't even know were colored pencils at first glance. Some of them are just amazing. So I can't do that. I can only do my art. Like my dandelion. So I had someone say they wanted me to do a sunflower, so I might do that. I do want to do another couple of acrylic paintings of the dandelion using some ideas that I thought about in the process of painting that one. That's why artists do multiples of things. Hello, Carrie. Glad that you're here now. Oh, Madonna. Okay. Halftime show is over. Great. I can always watch the halftime show later because there'll be lots of that recorded. I understand. I'm not a big soccer fan, so but I do understand it's quite popular. I've gone to a couple of different sporting events. I've been to an NHL hockey game in Montreal. I've been to a AAA ball club baseball game. Where else was I? Trying to remember. Oh, it's been a while. Okay, you big, yep, your family's into soccer, yeah, like that's, there are nowadays in Canada lots of families, and that's their big thing. My family was more into the baseball and softball was what we did. So yeah, watching the ball games is great. I haven't had the opportunity to go to a major league ball game. One day. Go Blue Jays. I don't know how well they're doing, actually. I've been busy. As I said, I've been weeding today. Thank you, Carrie. Working on the other cat girl. Well, this is, I think this is the same girl. That's why mine's kind of colored the same way. So I just thought I'd repeat her. Trying to give this to look like velvet. I think I'll get another blue here too. I think go a little darker. And I'm trying to use my short ones. Which one is this? That's the only thing about the Star Joys is that the names rub off. This is, I think, an ultramarine. It's a darker blue. Yes, that's what I want. In here. So yeah, so this is how I do it. I just build up the intensity of and deepen the shade of after I've done my watercolor. Actually, they do work in the Fantasy Worlds book. That was Color by Adri that said that. What's Joanne saying? Too hot to color. Joanne, mean your air conditioning isn't working? Oh my goodness. Shaking my head. Okay. You haven't opened that book in over a month? Oh, coloring view. Well, I'll show you what else I've been working on, but this is what's going up on the channel, so I thought I'd try and do some and finish some of this. But we can always look at other things. I don't think I've done anything in, no, I haven't done anything in Mouse Guard. I think you've seen all those since last week. But I did get that other book in, that Alice in Wonderland Mythographic book I ordered for myself. I'll show ya. It'll be in my haul, but I'll show you because I am working on a picture view. Oh, the Mythic World Kappa page. Okay, I don't have Mythic World. Oh my goodness, Joanne. Well, sleep in the living room then. Bedroom is off and the den not. close all your blinds. Keep the sun out. It can make such a difference. I know I used to do that when I didn't have AC in the house. I only got AC in this house maybe 6 years ago, 6, 7 years ago. Yeah. And up until then it was always fans. But every morning before I went to work, it was like, okay, blinds are closed, so the house is basically dark. And one window at the very top of the house, because heat rises, open just a crack so hot air could get out, escape. And I'd have the fans on, ceiling fans on, to draw the cool air from the basement up. So that was my routine without air conditioning. Here, that's looking a little better. I like that. Even looking at it upside down. Just a little darker in here. So anyways, I got that Alice in Wonderland mythographic book. I have a few other mythographic books for you. Oh, I had to put those down in the cupboard. But I like this Alice one. Some of the mythographics I find a little too busy, too much, but I think what I'm going to do is ignore a lot of the detail. Yeah, well, is Carol here? Page yesterday. Oh, thank you, Joanne. You worked a little in that page. Yes, the extra copy of this. You can do Turtle Boy too. Oh my goodness. Good. You're almost finished that picture? Okay. Good one, View. I've been missing a lot of chat here. Hold on. Let me catch up. Okay. You guys. Oh, thank you, Devin. Yes, I do love her red shoes. I figure she had to have a pair of ruby shoes. Don't use my star drives enough. Yeah, I got there. Okay, I can go up a little further. Shaking my head. Opening it now. Okay. AC. You never knew what "be right back" and what "by the way" means. Oh my goodness. Okay, View. Oh. SML? Not really. Okay. Did I catch up with everything? I think so. You have 3 copies on your shelf. Okay, Joanne. I know what you do to get that many. Yes, Joanne is Joanne Newman that I'm talking to at the moment. Joanne actually lives in the same city that I do, and she and I have gone out and had coffee and ice cream. We were out for ice cream a couple of weekends ago, and Joanne can be like a fairy godmother to me, and she will gift me some of the books where she already has a number of copies. So I've been very lucky over the last little while. Very lucky and very blessed to have met such a wonderful and giving lady, and getting some wonderful books. And you'll see that's the little haul that I was gonna dew there that I was speaking of, ambient. So it's more like gifting haul, happy mail, but it wasn't what didn't come in the mail. Yes, Joanne is very sweet. Yes. Okay, you did the turtle guy view. Okay, okay. And you have one in work in progress also? Oh my. Okay, now that I've got that dark, I'm just going to find a little lighter color. This will be nice because it's kind of a gray blue. I don't want to make it a bright blue. I want to make it a soothing blue. So this, I think this is periwinkle, blue periwinkle. And I've used that, I know, in her ties. So this will just finish that off, blend them all together, I think. The beauty of doing all the watercolor underneath is I'm not really worried about white showing through. That's for sure. Like, I know if I did this on just the white of the paper, it is more difficult on this paper to get it burnished. It always leaves a little bit of a speckly thing. You can kind of see it here in the green of this bow. Might go in on this with a little bit of a shading and use orange to do that. What are you guys up to now? Hello, Ivy. How are you? Nice to see you. Your view's closing one of your IG accounts. Okay. Yeah, I can't have that many different IG accounts. I have a couple of different email accounts, basically. One for very personal and one for kind of more business and semi-personal stuff, and then another one for business. So I think on some of these on this highlight, I'm going to come back with a white just to really brighten that up a bit. I want to cover this. Okay. Oh, that's getting better. So instead of, no, I can use the white. Where are you? Oh no, this is the, oh, that'll do. This is the cool gray. This will work better actually. Just gonna put that right on top of that. And then here, I'm just going to go along the edge a little bit more. Just a little out there. I'm just trying to get that edge to be a little, not hard, but to show that it's falling into a fold. And this one I wanted to make sure we had a lot of light on the top because it's got quite a bit there. We're going to do the same here with this one. And then over here. All right. What's going on? So yes, Joanne has a lot of backup books. So let me just move this over here for a second. Okay. Turn this right side round so I can take a look at those curtains the right way up. Yeah, that's looking good. I like that. And then I can decide on my colors for the trim, which I think is going to echo this orangey yellow color. So I'm going to pull out, yeah, that yellowed orange. And is this canary yellow? I think I got a little shorty canary yellow in here. Pencil ASMR. I have a Berol Canadiana sun colored. That'll work very well. And I know I have a canary. There we go. Canary yellow. So those three. And then I think I'm going to take also, nope, not neon. I don't want neon. I want more of a buttery yellow. Is that the same color number, 915? No. This one. I'm not even sure, but it's a very much lighter yellow than the rest of these. So I'm going to use these to make my tassels now. Look how short that thing is. Do you think it'll work in my pencil sharpener? Actually, it does, because I've done a trick. Let me move the book. That's just going to not work. I'll close it up for 1 second. Okay, here we go. So, it's short and it'll start making a sound. It's not, but you have to put it down a little ways for it to actually start working. So this one is still long enough. I should be able to get it out. So let's try. I'm just going to use this end and go. Gave me a little bit. Let's see. Might have been a little too short. There it is. You can always take the top off. Okay, well that wasn't the best experiment, but it actually did get a little sharper. Okay. Maybe not on that short of a pencil, but I was doing it on like that short of a pencil. Sharpen these up. That was sharp enough, and that was sharp enough. This is the only one that isn't very sharp, but it's going to be more in the bigger areas, so not to worry about. I'm going to use the canary yellow first. I was saying, Ivy, that I like it because it's hard for me now to twist the pencils to get them sharp because my arthritis bothers me so much, or beginning to bother me, and the more pinching in that I do, the worse it feels. So get some of these in here. Just a little bit of the yellow at least. And I'm thinking the light's a little more to this side because her face is in shade on this side, but to the front. So the shade is in back and to the left. Might have to take, this is the canary. Yeah, this is the canary yellow. I'll be taking the golden yellow along the rest of the trim, I think. What's Devin saying? Afmat. The Sharpener sounds like yes. Yes, it does. The duck. Except that's Aflac. But yes, I've seen that commercial. Or several of their commercials. Okay, I'm going to use the golden yellow in along the edges here. Because, for one thing, it has that little bit of orange in it, which sets it off against the blue. The yellow, the canary yellow was just making it look green. This will tend to make it look a little more brown. I'm also going to add some to the tassels too. And when your pencils are nice and sharp, with a nice point on them, it's easy to do this part. Navatar, adopted my dog by accident. Yeah, I adopted my cat by accident too. Adopted my dog by accident. Yep, tell that story one day out alive. You okay? We'll listen to it, Ivy. Mine too. Coax my dog home off the streets. Aw, isn't that nice? Piggy Pens is August cats versus dogs. So if you're a cat lover or a dog lover, I see. I know Piggy's going to be taking the dogs. Holly, well, I guess if Piggy's taking the dogs, Holly will have to take the cat. I am both, but I have cat. I've had dogs, I've had cats, I've had a bird. We were the house that, you know, if you needed your pet adopted, that maybe you could get adopted here. Maybe. My husband was not a big dog lover, that's for sure. Just coming along, I like it. Get these tassels a little more. I'll go back over this with another pencil yet. Push it all together. Who was talking about rotating their pencil? You see I rotate it at almost every time I pick it up. When I pick it up for a moment after coloring a few. And that keeps with a fairly sharp tip. In this instance, if you rotate it, but it's not, if you want to draw a really fine line, you need a sharpener. Like you can't get away with just doing a little bit of this. over here, I guess. Okay. Yep, I like how that's turning out. No, I'm not, to save money. That's like, my pencils aren't that precious, frankly. I need sharp points when I want sharp. That was the golden yellow. I'm now going to take the Canadiana, the Berol Canadiana, which is they're actually fairly hard wax pencils. This is the sun color, and I'm going to use that to go over all this and kind of burnish up and finish up the tassels a little with a little more crispness, because this is such a hard pencil. It's easier to do and get those edges, get those little tassels all colored up pretty. At least that's what I think. That's my opinion. I'm not a professional. I'll come back in on top of some of these too with a little darker color, because they're more in the back, and that'll help them to recede. Some of those bits I missed there, that's better. Yeah, I do. I'm sitting here thinking about my pencil rotations, and frankly, if I don't think about it, I do it almost every time I pick up my pencil to go to another object. Let's see what everybody's yakking about. Oh, thank you. Not So Ordinary Woodworks. How are you? Nice to meet you. Artist does not mean professional or professional by means of selling your work. Yeah, professional it's a job. You can be a professional artist. It'll be a job. What are you doing when you're a professional artist? You're either trying to sell the stuff that you make for yourself, or you're commissioning works and people are telling you what to paint. So I like to be what I would call a non-professional artist that sometimes gets lucky and is able to sell some art. Oh, thank you, Carrie. Yep, you go right ahead and get some of your housework done. It's better to do housework right now than go outside anyways. Okay, I like how that's turning out. I'm just going to take, thought I might use that again, but I'm not. I'm just going to take a little bit of a lighter terracotta color here. That's sienna brown. That will do. Terracotta might be a little too red. I'm just gonna lightly touch this side that I said is more in the shade. You can see that gives that a little weight there. That's just like to do that. And then this one, because it's a little further back, I'm just going to make it a little darker all over. But still put more of the brown that far side. There we go. yellow back here. More yellow back in there. There we go. Just sometimes you just have to kind of go back and reinforce the color a little more, that's all. Especially when it comes to finishing, I like to look at it and make sure that there's definitely darks and lights, because that's what your eye appreciates, is the difference. Variations in color and shape. Wants to move around your picture. Again, I'm not being really precious about this. On these, I just want to darken a little bit. If they're a little bit back. There we go. Keep that one bright. A couple of butterflies there, the curtain. Okay. I like it. I like it. I like how those have come out. Well, hello, Dee Dee. Thanks for coming by. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Old friends and new friends, and I'm just trying to catch up with the chat here. So, let me see. I've got Dee Dee. I've got View, Devon. Yeah, oh. You used to be a commissioned cusser. Okay. I have, let me just see. Let me go back. Not So Ordinary Woodworks. Nice to meet you. Did I catch Ivy? Got Ambient. Did I get everybody? Yeah, I saw an Ambience remark about commissioned artists, and yes, they do get commissioned to do their work in their own style, but usually I think they're being asked to do something, like they want a particular person, or I want it to be a cat, right? So anyways, I'm going to leave this here for a little bit. And then I'm going to bring out, where did I put it? I just had it. Oh, there it is. Let's put this over here for a second. This is what I got. It actually was going to be a gift, but I found out they have one already. And they're working on this page. So I went, okay, I'll work on that page too. So here's my renditions. What old folks? What? Oh, yeah. Okay, you're talking about old folks and their mouths running. Well, yeah, that you kind of get away with it a little bit more, frankly. Given your opinion. By the way, I'm showing that tomorrow, Jane. So you got one of these too. Oh, good. I think it's fun. This is a great one to do. Okay. But I'm turning 70 in October, people. So, I'm no spring chicken, but I will get pretty feisty if I need to. Hey, so there. No, I'm not helping. I don't think anybody's helping, but yeah, he's falling down the rabbit hole. He's definitely falling down the rabbit hole. I have a couple of gears to work on here, and I decided I want to make. I'd left his shirt because I didn't know what color I wanted to do his shirt. But so I based all of this in alcohol markers, just to show you. There we go. I keep things like this so I can use them for backing. So yeah, it's all done in alcohol markers for the most part. And I've been putting my color pencils on top. A little bit of gold gel pen. The gold Signo, again, is what I've done the clock hands in. And an assortment of pencil crayons. So I've got some leaves to finish in here. I'm working kind of this way. A couple of gears. I think this gear and his shoelaces. That's why I wanted to come up and get my pit pen to do the shoelaces because it's tiny. It's tiny, and I can do that. And I used a pit pen for these the black clock, the black numbers on the clock. Yeah. Thank you, Dee Dee. Appreciate that. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Devin. Evie. Thank you, Ivy. So yeah, I'm having lots of fun with this. You might wonder why I did this. Once you get the book, you'll see that the actual clock face has a couple of lines in here, and I was thinking that kind of represented almost where the sunshine was glinting off of different things and coming through down the tunnel. So I've done a little bit of extending of those lines into my picture and put some white acrylic gel pen, my acrylic marker, my GuangNa. I see that was rubbing off, but thank goodness you can tell the colors from the end. Most of the colors on the tip look very much like what the paint is. And then I just used a little bit of water on my brush to soften it and bring it over into here. So maybe I get some water off of that. Let's try that. I'll show you what I was doing. So I was taking my pen like this, trying to see if you can see what my hand is doing. Close this pen up. And then I'm going to take my paintbrush and just bring it over pull it over what I've already colored. Give it kind of a milky look. Okay, are those supposed to be light beams? Like I haven't, that's just what I kind of imagined that it was. I'll make this one a little longer. As long as this paint stays wet, you can move it. Get at it with the water right away and you can move it. There we go. And that's how I get that kind of rendition of light beams. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you. In Fantasy World soon. Oh, I have done mine. I can't show it though because that's kind of the deal, is that you don't show your page until after the entire book collab. I did show you my one for the first collab that came out, and you can see that on Piggy Pen's channel. She does an entire book flip through of the fantasy world with the undone page and then a completed page by different artists from all around the world. And I was lucky enough to get into the first and the second one with to do that. So yes, I have a page in the second one and a page that you can see in the first one. Page I did in the first one was the oh yeah, the fairy in the lamp. I can tell you the page that I'm doing in the second one. It's the castle in the clamshell is my assigned page for that one. Which one did you get, Devin? Ivy, the page I was assigned was making my skin crawl. Kind person. Yes, I remember which one it was, Ivy. You were, that was the Fantasy World one, Dee Dee, and Ivy doesn't like tubular items. It has a couple of pieces of coral in there that look like long tubes. Girl with the swan, a lot of open space. Yep. Oh, you knew that view. Yeah, well, you've known Ivy for a little while. The Mermaid Bay title page. Ooh, yes. Yes, the Mother Nature, as I said, has some interesting ways of showing herself, and that's was one that Ivy just didn't like. So she got someone to trade with her, which is all just fine. You know, I all have our likes and dislikes. I don't like spiders, frankly. Though I have learned over the years that I can kill them by myself. Small ones. The big ones I will leave to somebody else. So there. So there's that light beam. And I decided to put it behind him. Didn't want it to be in front of him or in front of the leaves. But everything else that's behind come down here. Just want to strengthen some of these a little bit. I'd started on them, but yeah, sometimes I have to do it a couple of times. You have to wait till it dries just to see if the white is gone far enough. And I also strengthen that idea by using different colors on the gears. So when it's in the light, it's a lighter rendition of the color of the gear than when it's not in it. You can kind of see it up here maybe a little bit more, where this in here it's quite orangey yellow, and then out here it's a little more grassy terracotta looking. I gotta finish my clock hands too. Just gonna do a little inside that clock hand. Now this one's a little picky because I want to get in behind but not on, so just spread it a little more carefully. There we go. Okay, what's it? Distress inks and water splatter on the text page. Yeah. What is Inkle? Yes, View did a great job on labeling all of her pan pastels, I should say. You gotta do what works for you. You know, how your brain is gonna see it, just so you can make sure that you're gonna use it. I'm trying to put not too much water on these pages. I find that Mythographic paper doesn't really like a lot of water. I don't mind when my pages crumple a bit, but there I've used it on a couple. I tried colors on a couple of Mythographic books, and it was like I can't get them to move. I can't get them to do much of anything. Okay, so that was the trick for that. Oh, I gotta finish this gear. And I gotta do my clock hands. So, I decided that my clock hands needed a little less gold. I didn't do it all to the edge. And I want to take, there we go, the sepia. And kind of strengthen the lines on it a little bit. So you can see here, just on the inside of this gold part. I'll strengthen that line and strengthen that line. And then that helps me to go out here and use this color. At least that's what I think. Just to make it stand out a bit. Okay, what's going on? Wolf Moon Mythographic. Yeah, I got that one too. Got that one from Joanne. Yep. Lots of good ideas in there. Yeah, I like, I like your portraits when you're using them, and I can see using that, but I can't see using them a lot in, like, really busy pages unless you want to make it all one color. I kind of like the paints to do that. I feel I have a little more control. I can use a smaller brush. I left some of the hands uncovered from the actual gold pen, because pencil on top of that pen doesn't work very well. But pencil alongside the pen can look great. Yeah, I've got some chalk pastels. I've used them to rub them in different places. I still don't use them as much as I should, but I'd probably enjoy them more if I use them on just paper and first. See what else I can create with them. I've got some oil pastels. I've had those for good. I think I've had those oil pastels longer than I've had my children. So those are something that does not dry up. Well, maybe they're not quite as oily as they could be, but they certainly do still drop off color. That's coming along. We're working in the Mythographic Alice in Wonderland by Joseph Catimbang. Yeah, Joseph Catimbang. Brand new book, and trying to do this page, which we'll call Falling Down the Rabbit Hole, because that's what it is, with timepieces all over the place. Dee Dee, you can color timepieces. I'm sure you can have other books that you can color timepieces in, but I know how you like your watches. But it should be fun. Alice in Wonderland is kind of fun. There's a few interesting pages. You had a nice discussion on what all the pages were, and on the author of Alice in Wonderland. The gentleman's name was Lewis Carroll. And yeah, she said he was a little bit of a weirdo. Yeah, could have been. Could have been. He was fascinated by Alice, and yes, that's the reason why he wrote the book. There, I like that. I like that. Just gives that a little bit more. Okay, what's going on? What's gonna use the Spectrifix blade? Worked well indoors. Coloring in Kirby with color present. That's just me. Yeah, I don't mind Kirby. Let me see. Yeah. Well, the way you did that damn stag is like, yeah, you used the pastels and went over most of the page. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you. Yeah, I love doing light shows. I love doing high contrast. I got to show you my mouse guard book. Where did I put it? It's right there. I love doing lighting, and I have to do some more of this one. Let me get the mouse guard book down. I'm so lucky I have such wonderful friends. I'm one of the few Canadians that have this book. And I was gifted this book by Coloring View. She's such a wonderful lady. She sent me this. But, you know, she always has an ulterior motive. But I've been working on it. And I've got a couple of pages done in the front. But the one I want to show you is this one. I'm so proud of this one. Yes, Brittany, this is from the Alice in Wonderland mythographic book by Joseph Catimbang. But I really enjoyed doing this one with that light show. And then another one that I'm working on. This one I think I'm done. So I'm having lots of fun with fire and light and reflections and skies and nights. You see, I've got these two. These two I'm working on at the moment with my the light of the candles and the moon and his lantern reflecting off of snow because he's got a sled. That's a Christmas tree. But yeah, I'm having lots of fun with those, and watercolors is what I've been using in the backgrounds to start all of these. That's another one that I've just based. Oh, here's the other one. I like the color I did on this one and on this one, I guess. The dark, the alley in the morning, and the baker's oven in the morning. Not quite as intense of heat as the blacksmith, but enough of that nice warming oven to light up his face and the loaves. So Thank you so much for all the wonderful, beautiful words that you guys say. So, but yes, having lots of fun in Mouse Guard and having lots of fun in my Googelli. I've got a couple of coloring buddy things to do, and now I've got this that I'm working on. And Devin, I am so glad you bought the full set of Prismacolor pencils. You will not be sorry. I've had two sets. Yeah. No, 3 sets. Bought one a long time ago, and then I bought 2 sets when they were on sale a couple of years ago. I still have, I think, one almost complete set. I might have taken a couple of pencils out of it, but I rotate out the ones that I've been using up. And yeah, she's got lots of jelly plates. The line work in which there, Ambient? The line work in Mouse Guard? I like the line work in Mouse Guard. It reminds me a lot of woodblock prints. In like medieval woodblock prints and the line work in that. Yes, Dee Dee, 60 years? Yeah. Well, I was showing off some of my pencils that I've got because I mix all of them up. But I've got a couple of Berol Canadianas, which is like great pencils. And I was using one a little earlier. I got a yellow one here. I know I've got a terracotta. I probably don't have any more blacks of that. They were colored at times, though, Ambient. They were then hand colored later. I'm finding some, Sandford pencils. Oh, I see. I've never seen a Sandford pencil. So where was I? Let's get back to this. I'm just going to take a little sip because I'm getting... I think they were hand colored like in paint. Because they would print them and then they would hand color them. That's right, Dee Dee. They did go through many iterations. Lots of different things, and then you'd always have like the illuminations, yeah, like the lettering that the monks would do, and then all the fancy coloring in behind that. So let me get back to here. I've got that gear to color, and I've got some leaves to finish coloring too. So let me get this gear. I think I want to do that one in a lighter color. And it's not in any of the light beams, so I'll just shade this normal after I give it a little something here. Then I gotta do his shirt and the leaves, and I'm going to give him a denim shirt, kind of a light blue denim color shirt. You're almost done yours, View. Oh, bye, Dee Dee. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you so much for dropping by. We'll see you tomorrow. World Cup final going. Extra inning. Oh, not extra innings. Extra time. Is it a? Is it the first goal wins? I don't know what it is like in soccer. What are you gonna show, View? What are you gonna show, View? I'll catch. Oh, this page? Oh, good. Okay. Hi, Lucy. How are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Give me a thumbs up, guys, if you haven't already. And just, and if you're just here in the back lurking and not saying hi, thanks for stopping in. And just, give me a little bit of a thumbs up. I do love it when you all come by and visit me. I'm trying to make this a weekly time of coming on. We'll do a couple of different things, different pages. I worked on that Googly page earlier and finished it up. Just want to give this a little bit of a shading. It doesn't look like much, but in the end, I really think that some of these really small details can make such a difference in your picture. Especially when it comes to shading dark and light. You need to have bright whites and very dark darks in all pictures. And that creates tension in the painting, and it makes it look a little more real. Darken that up just a bit now that I've put the black on there. This will just blend it in a little more and deepen that color. I hadn't done any of the gears with any alcohol markers because I wasn't sure at first what I was going to do with them. Oh, I forgot this big hand too. Yeah, I wasn't sure at first what I was going to do with them, if I was going to color them with pencil crayon or if I was going to make them like all gold or silver with paint, metallics. But I decided that he needed to be a little more of the subject of our page, and if I did too much gold, that he wouldn't look quite as important. So I've kept the gold to just the clock hands, and I didn't even put it on his watch. I want to get this point a little sharper because I'm doing this. Hold on. Here goes. New pencil. Love it. My new pencil sharpener. Oh, bye, Carrie. See you later. Clean out the car. Yeah. Yeah, I know. There's always things that you need to do. I need to go and pick raspberries yet today, this afternoon, but I can do that in the evening too. It's still light out for some time. What else is going on? Yes, you have to work those alcohol markers to blend them for sure. But they do make great base colors, and I have done blending with alcohol markers. It's really every tool has got a bit of its own challenge, and if you can learn to use it or see how to use it, sometimes, and I do this all the time, sometimes you use it in your own way and it becomes effective. Don't necessarily have to use everything in the way that was intended to, as long as it's safe. I'm not saying you to do anything unsafe. But yeah, different art materials in that. Experiment with them. Like I did last week with my tea bags and my Mod Podge in my book. In my napkin book. I'll have to get that out again. Maybe we'll do some of that next week. Some gluing, some napkin booking, and do a few pages. And then they can dry. Da, 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 da. Okay, oh yes. I have lots of raspberries in my yard, Lucy. You should see them. And they are just starting to get ripe now, so that's why I need to get out there and pick a few. Because the more you pick, the more you get, for one thing. I think. Because they just wants to keep producing berries because it wants to put out more babies. And we've had such lots of water, lots of rain. It's been thunderstorming at night. And during the days, nice, lots of heat. Raspberries love that. So they're getting really big and plump, and now the ones at the top are getting beautifully ripe. And soon the ones down in down the middle will get just as ripe because of the heat that kind of lives inside the berry bush. If you go in there, it's like a little greenhouse underneath all the bushes. Some of those canes I have are gotta be 8 feet. They're not standing up straight, but I do have them tied. But they still form a kind of a tunnel. Thank goodness I'm short. I can get in there. There, that's better. One more up in here. Do this around the outside edge. Just like I did the other one. And around this edge. And the inside. Strengthen that. So I don't know, can you see this? I should maybe make some of my things a little closer, but I go all over the page, so I like blackberries too. Blackberries grow wild out in BC. Now those have thorns. Raspberries have prickles, but blackberries have big honking thorns. The red ones cost more here. Ah. You visit, raspberry farms. Well, you could come in my yard and pick raspberries for free, but you're awfully far away. Yes, Saskatoon. I don't have any Saskatoon berries in my yard, though. That's the only thing. But Saskatoon berries, how can I describe them? They're kind of a cross between a blueberry and a currant. It's currant, maybe about that size. Grow on trees. And they make delicious jam. They have and pies, Saskatoon berry pie. So if you ever get a chance to try some of that, that's a different berry, and that really kind of, I don't know. Yeah, they're great for pies. I don't really know, like there's lots of places you can pick them, but I don't know that they grow wild really any place other than in Saskatchewan. They probably do grow in Alberta, somewhere, but they're great for pies. And a few yards of blackberry bushes, sit under them and eat straight from the bushes. Oh yes, those blackberries, they're like my raspberries too. They like form great big tunnels, right? So, okay, so I finished that. And I got that. Leaves next. That's where we were going. So I gave some of these leaves a little bit of Chartreuse color on where I think the light's going to hit them. And they've all just been based in a green alcohol marker. I don't find that at least not this Mythographic paper, doesn't change with alcohol markers. And there it is. And then I've been using this little olive green to do some shading. Joseph gives you great clues as to where all your shading should be. These little hatchy marks, and the veins are there helping you. I'm just gonna deepen the edge underneath the other leaf. And do the same here. Well, what's everybody talking about? You haven't tried currants or cranberries. Cranberries are different. I would never eat cranberries until they've been actually made into some kind of jam, because they're not actually berries in the way that we think of them in fruit. They're kind of dry and hard on the inside to start with. And then when you cook them, because I buy fresh cranberries to make my cranberry sauce for Thanksgiving, FYI. When you cook them, they pop. You put them in the pot with sugar and a little bit of water, and you boil them up and they pop. And you just cook that for a little longer. If you want to get really adventuresome. And I did this because my husband liked hot stuff, but I always made sure there was something separate for the rest of us. You can add chilies to it, hot chilies, and then you just let that cool down, and that's your cranberry sauce. Okay. Yes, ambient, you always should share. I think you did, Devin. I think you indicated at least that they were here before. Yeah. You've only tasted on gravy or jam. Yeah, that's probably the only way that you would want to eat them. Currants, I've had currants before. They make a nice jam too. Yes. Prairies is in Devin's blood. I'm not originally from the prairies. I'm originally from Ontario, actually. And that's where a lot of my parents' family still are. Like their brothers and sisters still live in the Ontario area. We moved out west a long time ago. A long, long time ago. Um, Gosh, I was a little girl. This is Prussian green. I just wanted a little different green. Yeah, I think I was in grade 3. Anyways, we moved out west a long time ago, so I called myself a Western girl, even though I was born in Tirana. That's how you say it properly, in Tirana. There, those look okay. Hubby's from Ontario already. I've lived in Saskatchewan for the majority of my life, I have to say. I've lived in Alberta, lived in Ontario. My parents currently live in BC, and that's where I'd like to go. That's where I'd like to move to. But I need to stop coloring and start emptying my house if I want to move, frankly. That's the only thing. Lived in this house for a very long time. I got lots of stuff and memories. You know how it is. Let's see, do I have another light green? A spring green? Oh, there's an apple green. That's more. Oh, that's a little nubby. The Yukon. Ooh. Well, Lucy, the middle of, I live right smack dab almost in the middle of Canada on the Saskatchewan prairies. And if you travel to different parts of the world, you notice in Canada, there's a lot of places in Canada that are like a lot of other places because we have such varied landscapes that people can find places that they relate to from their own childhoods quite easily. I'm still looking for the right color here. That is not doing what I want it to do. I needed more of a springy green. Let's try this one. Oh, if you want to go to a windy city, Lucy, you need to go to Winnipeg. They call that the Windy City for a reason. Fort McMurray. Oh, yes. There you go. That's in Alberta. Yes, Fort McMurray is a lot further north than where Devon currently lives. There's a lot of mining that goes up there. That's what happens up there. But yeah, Canada is such a huge and varied country. You know, we have mountains and we have, of course, our coasts. And I don't know that there's many countries that can boast of having a coast on both the Atlantic and Pacific. I think that is just us in the States. Probably. But where as wide as that, not as many people. So there's a lot of unlived on land that's still quite wide open. Here in Saskatchewan, there's a lot of farming. This is kind of like the grain belt. It would be very similar to areas in Europe. I think of the Ukraine. I think that's why the Ukrainians moved here. We have a lot of Ukrainian in families. That's the word I'm looking for in Saskatchewan. Um, and they date back to a long time, and they actually were some of the first settlers. But our landscape is very similar to theirs, from what I understand, in Saskatchewan, anyways. So we have boreal forests, which is huge forests full of firs, spruce, all sorts of things. Let me see what's going on. Yes, the Rockies. Yep, they would remind you of the Alps once you get up there. Some of those mountains are almost as high, and you live kind of down the valleys. Halifax reminds you a lot of San Francisco. Oh, okay. I'd love to go to South America at some time too. I'm off to Nova Scotia myself. I mentioned this before in September. That'll be the first time that I ever go to one of the maritime provinces. So, a lot of Canadians, including myself, haven't visited all of the places. I've been able to see a lot of the bigger cities. Um, been to Montreal, and I've been to Quebec City. Those are both beautiful old cities, too, with a lot of history. Toronto, of course, is big business. That's my hometown, if you can call it a town. Let me see, what else? Yeah, Montreal a couple of times. Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Winnipeg. Yeah, the Maritimes and the Northwest Territories are really the only provinces I haven't been to or visited. So, looking forward to that trip in September. And it's getting closer and closer by the day. So I'm just working on a couple of other leaves here. I want to just deepen the intensity of the green on some of them. I didn't, when I first did them, I didn't really go to town too much. Just shaded them a little. But I like to get most of the alcohol marker covered up. Let's see what's happening over in chat. What's going on here? Halifax is very hilly. Thank goodness I'm not staying there. I actually will be staying a little ways away, actually on the coastline in some cottages. So, but yeah, you've experienced the 401, Devin? Yes. Oh dear. It's usually cheaper to travel to Europe, North America, than to travel in South America, and you're there. Oh, well, I love that you've traveled to Canada. Don't come to Saskatchewan in the middle of winter. You wouldn't like it. Though right now, you'd probably love it. It's hot. Today's been a beautiful day with a little bit of a breeze. Enough that it was blowing the mosquitoes away, and I could get out and work in that garden, get some get some weeding done. I'm moving my hostas from one area of the yard to the other because the neighbor cut down some trees, so now there's a little bit more sun on one side of the yard than there used to be. Well, actually on all sides of the yard, because those trees were big. And they covered up almost one whole side of the fence between us and the neighbor. So now the one side of the yard that used to get all the sun gets even more sun, so it's hotter, and the one that got a lot of shade is now warmer too. So I'm moving my hostas from the overly baking side of the yard now to the side of the yard that'll stay a little cooler for them. And those are looking good. Need a little more on these ones. There. That green just makes me feel like there's a little bit of light shining on those parts of the leaves. You know, a little more sunshine. Because it brings in that bit of yellow. The Chartreuse. Put some here. Okay, I think the leaves are done. Never did finish his shoelaces. We've been to Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. Oh, they'll sound like you hate summer. Well, yeah, but you're always in the heat, it seems. Aren't you? And I hate winter, yes. Joanne doesn't like the heat. I know that. Try and keep her out of the sunlight when I can. Just gonna color this shoelace in. He's almost done. I still have to do his shirt yet, though. Where are we? Okay. Chile. Ooh. You know, I just think going to any country that has a little that's different from where you are. Let's put it that way. That's why it's fun. We have what's called Folk Fest here in Saskatoon. And it's been going in Saskatoon, oh my gosh, I think for 30 years now. At least. And it's where all of the different communities within the city, or different communities, or, how would I say, different groups of people that get together. So like we would have like the Ukrainian Dance Society, and then there'd be like the Filipino dance groups and music, and they all would have what they called pavilions, which is like you could go and you would like be like visiting that country. You'd go to their pavilion and be like visiting their country, and then we also have all sorts of different entertainment in that. So like there's a main stage, so you would have rotations of different countries, and then you would have in certain areas smaller stages for people to get up and play on. So it was great learning about different different countries eating different food. That's the other thing that's great, is you get to try all sorts of different street food. And yeah, so much fun. Oh, yeah. Hot flashes are bad, Lucy. Yes. And your winter's not super harsh, but yeah, you get Antarctic ocean currents. So you have regular frosts and below zero temps on and off all winter. Okay, so it kind of you'll get that coolness, but because you're, yeah, I know it's below zero in Celsius. When you said zero, I understood Celsius. I'm Canadian, so um, so yeah, you can get that frost below freezing, that which is similar, I think, to what happens in Vancouver, but it's on a different coast because you'd be on the Atlantic coast if you're in Brazil. Yes, Atlantic coast, not Pacific, and um, Pacific is much warmer water than the Atlantic as a rule. And yeah, Lucy, it can get to -40 here, which is exactly the same in Fahrenheit and Celsius. It can also get to +40 here. Today, I haven't looked. Today it's been pretty pleasant, so it's probably only in the lower 20s today. But it has been up in the mid to high 30s last week, come the mid-afternoon. So that's that's what it's like in Saskatchewan. Yes, if you like extremes, come here. So let me see. Maybe I can get started on his denim shirt. I'm looking for. There we go. There's that little light gray. What is this one? That's just a white. That'll do, and that'll do. Just sharpen this a little bit. Yeah, Atlantic coast. Yeah, Atlantic, you will get a little cooler, so similar more to Halifax. Vancouver gets that nice Pacific warmer waters. So I'm going to try using these to make his shirt. I've already got a little bit of a darker shade in here, but I'm just going to reinforce it with this one. And then I'll come back in with this periwinkle blue to give him the shirt color. Yeah, just rotated my pencil if you were looking. The artist just put a little shade here. So I'm just going to make that area a little darker. Down by his belt line. These little things right here around his tucked in belly. Okay, now you saw the polar bears. Oh, when you were in Halifax, or when you were up in Alaska? You went to Hudson Bay. Okay. So did you go on that, like, the polar bear trek up there? Because they have those, I was going to say snowmobiles, but they're not really snowmobiles. They're huge snow on um, tractor treads that they can use to go over the snow and go visit polar bears. So is that what you did, Lucy? You lucky girl. I've only seen them in the zoos. Yeah, if they're not friendly, why so cute? Yeah, well, yeah, they're wild. But I saw polar bears that the Winnipeg Zoo has a great display for their polar bears. And they in the summer they do like to just kind of lie out there and sunbathe. And then they have a great big old pool that they can jump in and go swimming in. And there's lots of viewports. Glass, big safety glass that you can go and actually get closer to them. Through the glass, if the glass hadn't been there, I was within a foot of a polar bear. He happened to be lying on his back in between the glass and the opening of what was kind of a shaded area. And he was out of the heat. He was lying on his back, obviously cooling off his nether regions. But he had his paws like this, like out. And oh my God, they were like dinner plates, the size of that paw. They were huge. They were huge. So yeah, it's probably a good thing that you saw them through binoculars. You wouldn't want to be up close. They do eat seals. And seals got big teeth too. There, I like that color on his shirt. I think I'm just gonna take this pencil. It's gonna get a little darker buttons on there. And I'm going to take this pencil, just give that a little deeper blue on the edge, like it's a little trim. So cute. And then I'm just going to take this pencil blend some of that in some of these areas. Use it for the blender. There we go. Oh, I got a shirt cuff over here. You won't see his cuff there. That's just his. Yeah, that's just his jacket. His overshirt, I guess. He's got two shirts on. Okay. Alrighty. That is working out just nice. Just didn't want it to be white, because this is the white rabbit. At least that's what I thought. I think it's the white rabbit in Alice in Wonderland falling down the rabbit hole. do that. And this up top. So that's there. All right. Well, I think that's where we're going to leave it today. Ooh, you worked in a zoo. I think, yeah. So some zoos are better than other zoos. It all depends. The zoos here in Canada all have some very strict regulations now, so that's why you don't see as many as you used to. Trade with other instructions. Thank you, Devin. Thank you. I'm thinking it's looking pretty good too. I might just have to go in and maybe bring in out some of his fur a little bit. But other than that, I don't think there's too much else that I'm going to be doing to this page. I hope you all enjoyed it. So thank you again for coming, all of my old friends, and if you're new here, thank you for showing up and putting up with me for a little bit. Spain just won! Oh, all the Mexicans are going to be so happy. I bet you Chris is jumping up and down. I bet your dad's jumping up and down. Yep. Yeah, for-profit zoos should not be there, because when it's for profit, then they're trying to make money, and then they cut things to make more money. Your zoo should be run, the money that come from the attendance at the zoos blah, 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 should go right back into the zoos to helping more. And yes, there's a lot of animals that come to our zoo here in Saskatoon that have been rescued. That's actually how a lot of our bears got here, is they came because they had been injured, or they were orphaned cubs, that type of thing, and some of them get back out into the wild again once they've been rehabilitated. Those that cannot will stay. We've got a couple of eagles like that in our zoo. They can't fly well enough to be able to be freed and feed themselves. So anyways, here we go again. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to get this short. I've got some berries to go pick out in the backyard before I get supper started. And I'll be checking out maybe Coloring Views coming on later tonight. But I hope you all had a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great evening, and we'll see you again soon. Certainly around the YouTube stream. So, bye now.